Hello and welcome to week 2 of the Virginia Tech Rec Sports Intramural Esports Games of the Week. We've got some Rocket League action coming at you in just a few moments. Following that, we're going to have some FIFA. My name is Liam Sment. I'm alongside Tyler Katz for the call today. Excited to have you here, Tyler.
Yeah, Liam, it should be a good game. We had the Bean Boys on last week in week 1, and we'll see them again here today. And it should be just another exciting week of getting back on the call of VT Rec Sports.
Indeed. Like you said, Bean Boys are back for their second straight week here on the Game of the Week. Last time they had two of their players featured in our twos game against a Chop House that went to a 3-game series reverse sweep win for the Bean Boys. This week, the three of them take on Pike Gold's team, Lava Monster, Mr. Chow, and Elite. We're going to have a very exciting one now. And the players are all getting warmed up. But like you said, this is an exciting one, a lot of fun. Again, FIFA coming up later, but for now, this is Rocket League. But we're in the regular season here with Rocket League. It's all just league play, regular season play before we get to the kickoffs. And we'll have a few weeks of that before all these teams will face off in a single elimination tournament. But a lot of exciting play before we come that. And again, like if anything like week 1 can show us, we've got a lot of exciting action to come later on.
Yeah, it should be an exciting one, especially for the Bean Boys. Having a champ 1 as part of their squad should really help them out like they did last week in that reverse sweep in week 1 of our Game of the Week on Rocket League. So it'll be exciting what they get to see to do against a new opponent in Pike Gold.
Indeed, it will. All right, give us just 1 second and we will get this game underway. But again, it's very exciting. This is, again, the first time that Rec Sports has ever had esports on for intramurals, obviously with different things happening here. With COVID-19, we've all had to adapt and do different things, but it's very exciting to get all of these players and a different look for Virginia Tech, and having esports at Virginia Tech is going to be a great and exciting time, and we've certainly enjoyed it this one weekend.
Certainly, it's been a great experience, not only for the players, but I think for the Virginia Tech community as well, with the onset of COVID-19, especially just being able to get live events, being able to interact with other students on campus. This has really been a special opportunity to be able to bring esports to the VT Rec Sports community.
Indeed. And again, it's not entirely the way that we would have anticipated and wanted it to happen, but you cannot complain. You got to be excited to, give a lot of these, giving all these players a great chance to go out and do something new. We've had Vespa, which is the official esports team here at Virginia Tech, and they have a Rocket League team. But finally getting the platform for which these players can go out and do things on a more competitive level is amazing. So we're going to get this going in just 1 second. As we're getting all of these created, lobbies up and ready to go. Give us just 1 moment, folks. All right.
And coming up after this series between the Bean Boys and Pike Gold, I know Liam mentioned that it was going to be FIFA, but instead we're going to be bringing you 2K, a rematch of last week between Evan Hughes and Ian Hatcher. So that will be an exciting game coming up on VT Rec Sports, both on YouTube and Twitch. Evan Hughes will be reclaiming the Miami Heat while Ian Hatcher taking over the Los Angeles Lakers. So that's coming up right after our series between the Bean Boys and Pike Gold here on Twitch and YouTube.
Yes, that was my mistake. I apologize for that. But yeah, it's very exciting too to be able to see these two teams going back at it again. I know that first game before we had some technical difficulties was a fun one, and then they continue to be fun throughout. So we're very excited to get both these players back in and playing again.
And for those of our viewers who are unaware with the esports league and what Rocket League really is, it's essentially soccer with cars with rockets on the back of them. So it's a really interesting dynamic, and it's a easy game on paper. When you watch it, it looks easy, but when you play, I can guarantee you that it is anything but easy. And what these guys are able to do out on the pitch today, and especially at the professional level, is astounding. And I'm sure we'll see some of that today.
And that we will, as we're getting game number 1 underway. The Bean Boys are in blue, while Pike Gold is going to be in orange. Right away, Pike with an opportunity there, but quickly stopped and pushed away. Now, Bean Boys will be able to take control of this ball and dribble their way upfield. And a good chance, good pass in the middle, deflected out wide, and Jelly Bean Milk really not being able to emphasize on that opportunity. They'll be able to regain possession here, move the ball forward. Pike now with an opportunity, not be able to get to that aerial, and a good chance there, but a little miscommunication between all of Bean Boys squad. And now, ball's floating around in midfield. Big chance up in the air there, and it's bounced, knocking away. Jelly Bean's going to be able to take control in the midfield, bring it to the corner. He's looking to find something in the middle. Oh, he couldn't quite get the touch on there to get it around. But another chance here, and a shot and a score. Brown puts the first one in for the Bean Boys as they take their early lead here against Pike Golds.
And it was just a popped-up ball by the side of the car by Sassy Cat. Brown comes in at a diagonal angle, able to hit the ball with the side of the car, puts it in the net. An excellent start for the Bean Boys.
And again, Bean Boys, who have the higher ranked players going into this match, of course that doesn't mean a whole lot when it comes to actually playing the game, but right away you expect them to take control, and they're doing well in control. As I didn't have another opportunity there to score, but they're doing well to keep possession, keep pressure deep against this Pike Gold team, and they're beating them in the air, which is really important going into the rest of this match. A double commit there from Pike, but they still manage to get away with him bringing it upfield. Brown meets him and takes it up on the wall. He's on the ceiling now. He's going for a double touch. He has this reset. Jelly Bean meets him in the air. They push that to the corner. Nothing going. Demo attempt there as Lava Monster's able to take control and take it down to the wall. Sassy Cat misses his challenge. From Jelly Bean Mills going to be able to take it. He beats one. Getting around Elite. He's going to see what he can do there. Elite beats him in the corner, but it's only going to be as far as Brown. A big demo in the goal, which means Brown's have an open chance, and he can't. He only finds the crossbar. And that's going to be a big part of this game, Tyler. The demolitions. Which team can get physical, and beat the other players out of their rotations?
And so far, it's been getting physical. And another goal is scored for the Bean Boys.
Big chance there. Again, it's all about this physical nature of this play. Who can beat the other players out of their rotation? Just a really great flick up and over Mr. Crown there, who had the chance to get there, but just could not. Mr. Chow, I'm sorry, could not get his car up in that top left corner. Beautiful placement. Jelly Bean now puts the Bean Boys up to 0. Brown again on the corner. He's going to take a good touch off the wall. Mr. Chow meets it on the goal line and push that clear. Big challenge there from Elite, who's really being able to challenge these Bean Boys in the air. He seems like the only one really on Pike Gold who's doing so successfully at this point. But he did well enough to get the ball clear for Pike there in that situation. He's got some space ahead of him. Sees it alone in the corner. Beats one. It's alone on net. If he can get a touch on it, he cannot. Mr. Chow dove in, but couldn't find the ball either. And now this should give the Bean Boys a chance to break out, and they do. Brown finds one off the wall. He's going to air dribble, put that down off the wall, and a good touch there from Mr. Chow as he's able to clear that one away.
And so far, I've noticed that go ahead.
Brown with a chance again, but yeah, like you're saying, so far it's been a very controlled game from the Bean Boys. You want to see more from Pike, and a big fake there from Jelly Bean Milk, and he's able to put that away. Huge fake to get Mr. Chow and Mr. Lava Monster off his feet. Jelly Bean just chips that one up and over Elite, who had the chance on that one but could not put it away.
And so far, it's been much more of a team game for the Bean Boys. Everybody seeming to get touches. Meanwhile, more of a one-man show for Pike Gold.
Indeed, they're able to find each other and play. Again, get those bumps, create open spaces for each other, move the ball forward together as a unified unit. Again, there's a lot of rotational ability that you're finding that comes with the higher level. This comes with a lot of experience. Mr. Chow gets beat there by Jelly Bean Milk, and now Sassy Cat should be able to possess, and he does. Brown going for a chance here over Lava Monster, who's in net. That one was far wide, and Lava Monster didn't have to worry about it too much. Now Jelly Bean takes this to the corner. Not able to find his way around Elite. Sassy Cat wins that 50 on the wall. He should have a little bit of space and time here, but he has no boots. So Lava Monster's able to push this one, but again, only as far as Brown, who misses his challenge. That should open up for Jelly Bean Milk, who skies that one up and over the crossbar. A double commit there again from Pike. You'll notice that a lot with these guys. They're all over each other in a lot of situations. But a chance here, cleared by Jelly Bean Milk. And you know, Tyler, you were saying a lot of this team play. You're finding with this Bean Boy squad, they're able to find each other in rotation, obviously find each other on passes in the middle of the field. What's not really clicking for Pike here?
Well, what's not missing for Pike is we look at JG Elite. He has a 60 overall score on the scoreboard, which is outdoing everybody on not only Pike Gold, but the Bean Boys. It's really been a two-man show for Pike Gold, while the Bean Boys have been able to work together to get on the scoreboard 3 times.
Indeed, and they're going to go ahead and do that again here. Brown beats all the defenders up in the challenge, and they find their way to go up 4-0 in this first matchup. A great pass there from Jelly Bean Milk, and Brown just beats everybody else up. No one else seemed to leave the ground there, and just gave him all the time in the world to be able to pick his spot in the net, and again, put the Bean Boys up 4-0. He's got a brace, Jelly Bean's got a brace, and they are running away with this one. Brown now is going to be able to take control off this wall. An air dribble to the corner. Lava Monster went up, but he couldn't find a touch on it. They're going to double commit again. Pike is constantly double committing here and leaving a lot of space in their back end. A lot of times leaving themselves very exposed and not getting contact they want or need. I don't know if it's a breakdown in
lack of communication.
Man, you wonder what's going on in their comms right now. As we wind down the last 8 seconds of this matchup, Brown's going to take this one to the corner, push this one in front. Chow's going to put that one away for him. Bean Boys are going to close this one with at least a 5-point goal, deficit over these Pike Gold players. Mr. Chow, he's going to want that one back again. And this whole game seemed like a whole series. A whole game, I'm sorry, where the Pike guys seem to have want this one back.
And Brown with a hat trick in game 1. We'll see if that continues into game 2.
They're keeping it up. A lot of fun there, but Jelly Bean decides to kill it, and the Bean Boys take game 1. 5-0, a resounding victory for the guys. And really an overall, they found ways to connect with each other, and they just seemed to outclass Pike in so many different ways. They possessed the ball, they were rotated well, they found each other in transition, but most importantly, they won in the air. Pike didn't seem to be able to find any play up high off of the grounds, and the Bean Boys were able to get up there and really take it out of Pike's comfort zone and beat them in places they couldn't reach.
Yeah, and we mentioned it late in the game that Pike had a lot of double touches and a lot of double commits where they were going for the ball at the same time, and it really showed a lack of communication, whereas the Bean Boys were able to space apart, get a lot of passes. 5 of their goals, 3 of them were assisted, so it just shows that there's a lot more communication and a lot more, I guess, intertwining between the Bean Boys, while Pike Gold is still struggling to figure out what they're supposed to be doing.
6 shots for the Bean Boys in that one to Pike's 2 means that they were on the offensive side of the ball, on the offensive side of the court the entire time, which is not entirely surprising, but it really worked for the Bean Boys. They clicked, like you said, they worked really well together, and they found space and time. Now we're getting ready to kick off game number 2. And a very exciting one we should have here. Let's see if Pike can take over control and find 1 game back, or if Bean Boys will sweep them in 2.
And the Bean Boys unable to win game 1. They'll do it now. We'll see if they take advantage. Pike is going to win the faceoff in a large pop-up right in front of the Bean Boys net. And the Pike Gold will get on the board for the first time today. Lava Monster going through the air to put it in the back of the net. It was just a high pop-up and able to find their first score of the day.
And that's something they hadn't been able to do all of first game, is get up in the air and win. I just realized all of the Bean Boys and Scarabs except for Brown now. But yeah, you know, that was a place they were struggling to find, is anything up in the air. I cannot get over all of these Scarabs that the Bean Boys are rocking. But yeah, they finally managed to get each other up in the air and make some moves.
Well, why not the Bean Boys with the most bean-looking car, the Scarab? And they're setting it up in the corner now. Brown's going to look after it, but Lava Monster, a nice clear back to around the middle of the pitch. Back onto the Pike side, Sassy Cat's gonna center for Brown, who clears it into the side wall. Now on the top wall, Brown trying to aerial inside Lava Monster. Gets right in front of the net through the air, able to make the save. And now it seems like the Bean Boys who are struggling to get opportunities, and it's constantly winding up in their own defensive end.
Yeah, it's very different from what happened in that first matchup, that first game, but Pike maybe settling this one a little bit better than they had in the first one.
Well, now it's in the offensive zone for the Bean Boys. Brown, a nice shot, but Lava Monster right in front of the goal. Now Jelly Bean Milk with the rebound. Hits off the wall, and it's going to be rolling backwards, and it's just a barrage by the Bean Boys right now trying to find the back of the net. Jelly Bean, a setup. Lava Monster through the air and is able to clear it, but Brown's going to keep it in the zone. Mr. Chow able to get there and make the save. And so far, a defensive game other than that one goal by Pike Gold.
But this could change it here. Brown with the air dribble attempt with the bump. Could not get it. But, yeah, like you said, very different style here in this game. You saw the Bean Boys really being able to find a lot of attacking prowess as they bump into each other there. Not really finding as much success. I wonder if it's the Scarabs or I don't know what it is. But Pike may be settling this one a little bit better than we had anticipated.
Well, just the shots not able to get on target, and when they were, Lava Monsters right there for Pike Gold. And speaking of, he's going to put it into the Bean Boys zone, but Sassy Cat's going to be able to clear it. A rebound shot, and it continues to go wide. Just not a lot of shots on net for the Bean Boys.
Not a lot. I mean, they're holding in the offensive side of the half. We really haven't seen the Pike Gold get any movement over on the other side of the field. That's a little miscommunication there, and now a chance, but yeah, Bean Boys holding, not shooting.
And so far, a big statistic. 3 saves for Pike Gold as that one almost finds the back of the net for the second goal for Pike Gold, but it pops out. Mr. Chow keeps it in the Bean Boys zone. But a save for each member of Pike Gold, a big part of why there's still a 0 on the Bean Boys side of the scoreboard.
Yeah, Brown has been the only one on this Bean Boys squad to be able to get any shots on net, and they're just missing everything. Like you said, they're struggling to get any shots on target. Brown's the only one who's really making it happen at this point. Pike is taking advantage of that.
Back in the Bean Boys zone, Sassy Cat with the clear. It's going to be a high bouncing ball passing over the middle of the pitch, and a shot scores corner of the net as there was a demo by Brown, and that ties the game with just under 2 to play.
And that's the passing play we'd seen from Bean Boys in the first game, being able to get it down across the net to each other, find each other in open space, and make those clinical finishes into the top right corner. A little demo for the celebration, and Bean Boys find their way back into this one.
Jelly Bean Milk credited with the goal, and they're going to try to strike back now, having the momentum. About 1:40 left to play. Elite couldn't get the ball. It was knocked in by the Bean Boys, and now Sassy Cat's going to keep it inside. Pike struggling to clear. Lava Monster really the only one who's been able to knock it out. He's had 2 saves credited to him already. Elite's going to have a high arching clear into the Bean Boys zone, but Sassy Cat's right there. A nice aerial over the top, but Jelly Bean Milk, an aerial save, and knocks it back into the Pike zone.
Again, now actually we're finding a lot of Bean Boys. Again, I'm guessing it's a scare play, an incredibly different style of car from any competitive thing you'd use, and a lot for the memes at this point, but again, they're just not finding a lot of shots. They're holding in this Pike zone a lot. Pike playing well defensively. There was a great shot for that goal, and I think that really is the exception of this Pike team not holding down what the Bean Boys are throwing at them.
Well, we're still tied with under a minute to play, 35, a pool shot attempted by Sassy Cat, and a clear by Lava Monster. And the story of this game has been Lava Monster for Pike Gold as we get the 2 horns of 30 seconds remaining.
Yeah, he's been really clinical. Again, this has been such a defensive play for them, a game for them. He got that first goal, but then is held down and really kept Pike in this one despite the constant barrage of pressure that the Bean Boys are throwing at him.
Well, now here's an attempt by the Bean Boys. Brown tried to get there, but Lava Monster, again, the name we keep saying, and it looks like with 3 seconds left, we could be seeing overtime in Game 2 of this series. 1 second left, the ball's being kept up, and indeed, we are going to OT.
Yeah, And this golden goal match should be very interesting. Again, we saw a very quick one from Pike early on. They scored right off the opening kickoff. Let's see what they can do here to match that.
Elite knocks it in. He tried to set himself up, but Jellybean Milk, a big pool shot, high arching shot. Inside, Lava Monster knocks it in! The Bean Boys will sweep Pike Gold. Jellybean Milk strikes again, winning 2-1, and the series 2-0.
What an unbelievable pinch there from Jellybean Milk. He brought it from half field up in the air, carried it all the way across into the corner where he pinches that in an unbelievable fashion to sneak it past Lava Monster, who was in such a weird place for that. You can't expect that as a goalkeeper. He's in the perfect spot, and Jellybean Milk just jumps up and finishes it on him. What an unbelievable way for them to win this series. 2-0, the Bean Boys sweep out Pike Gold.
An amazing match. All credit to Lava Monster, who tried to make the save. Just a high arching shot. It seemed to have deflected off the roof of his car and into the goal. But regardless of the effort by Pike Gold, it's the Bean Boys who end on top.
What a fantastic way. You know, that first game they dominated. They showed why they were the higher ranks, why they're better players. In the second game, they came out slow. They weren't able to find any movement. Pike was able to take that, again, that opening goal right from the kickoff. Lava Monster able to get up and get that quick shot off. And then again, the Bean Boys seemed to struggle, and they managed to find that off a great passing play. Again, they settled down, found space, found each other, were able to pass the ball and really hang out in the Pike end and put a lot of pressure on them, and that pressure eventually folded, and the Pike Boys end up losing this one 2-0 to the Bean Boys.
Well, the Bean Boys now improved to 2-0 after their reverse sweep last week as well.
Yeah, there's something about sweeps, something about brooms in these Bean Boys. They can't seem to get enough. Next, we've got 2K20. Evan Hughes will be taking on Ian in a rematch from last week's Game of the Week. We will see you in just a few moments.
Hello and welcome to week 2 of Virginia Tech Esports. Today we have a matchup with Evan Hughes playing as the Miami Heat, Ian Hatcher, the Los Angeles Lakers. For 3304 Sports, my name is Clint McLeod. I'm also joined alongside my broadcast partner, Aidan Butler. Aidan, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Clint. How about you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to call some esports. We have a great matchup on our hands, as this could be a preview of what we will see in real life. But this is week 2 of the Virginia Tech Esports. Evan Hughes and Ian Hatcher, these two played last week, with Ian taking game 1, playing as the Boston Celtics.
And like you said, it's maybe a little bit of something to look forward to, as tomorrow night at 9 o'clock on ABC, the Heat will face the Lakers in game 1 of the finals.
And in this one, we'll run down the starters real quick for the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron James is at point guard. He is a heavy ball dominant presence for the Lakers. Danny Green is at the shooting guard. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope gets the start at small forward. No surprise with Anthony Davis at the 4 and JaVale McGee at the 5. And before we get started, the Miami Heat, Kendrick Nunn is getting the start at point guard, but Evan Hughes has let us know that he will use Goran Dragic quite a bit in this one. Duncan Robinson, the sharpshooter, is at the 2. Jimmy Butler at the 3. Derrick Jones Jr. at the 4, and Bam Adebayo at the 5. It'll be interesting to see who Evan Hughes brings off the bench to throw at Anthony Davis. You know, the Heat have a combination of Kelly Olynyk, Andre Iguodala, and Jay Crowder, so there's a lot of different lineups we can run out there. So we're going to broadcast this from the Staples Center, as Ian was the victorious party last time out, so he will become the home team. And the jump ball will be between Evan Hughes playing as the Miami Heat and Bam Adebayo, and Ian Hatcher playing as the Los Angeles Lakers and JaVale McGee. We're underway from the Staples Center. We're playing 5-minute quarters. As you can see above, Evan Hughes controls the ball off the tip with Kendrick Nunn, kicks it into the corner with Jimmy Butler. No surprise there, as he will try and look to ISO Jimmy Butler quite a bit in this one. Driving off from the baseline with Duncan Robinson. He gets swatted by JaVale McGee, but corrals the rebound, but he goes out of bounds in favor of the Lakers.
And a great opening stop there by the Lakers. They're getting it back and definitely want to try and get an early lead here.
The Lakers are coming down on this one. Can't get that one to go, as the rebound is now corralled by Anthony Davis, coming out in transition. Hands it off to Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Goes out of bounds, deflected off of Evan Hughes and Bam Adebayo into the favor of Ian Hatcher underneath. Adebayo already has 2 rebounds for the Miami Heat. That will be a big constant as he tries to go up against Ian Hatcher, who throws Anthony Davis and JaVale McGee, a very large lineup for Ian.
And already a couple scoreless possessions so far. I hope this isn't a sign of things to come.
Danny Green can't get the jump shot to go. A good defensive rebound by Evan, with Derrick Jones Jr. once again controlling with Kendrick Nunn. 1 minute gone here in the first quarter. A big mismatch on the perimeter with Butler and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Let's see how Evan goes to move against it, as he finally gets the first bucket of the game with a little shimmy hook shot from Bam Adebayo. We've seen his offense grow in recent weeks, and Evan is taking advantage of it as LeBron James. Ian Hatcher gets a huge dunk in transition. He was just able to blow by everybody in a quick timeout by Evan Hughes. What'd you see there, Aidan?
Well, it's definitely something we haven't seen so far. Evan Hughes working into the paint there to get something to go, and that's the case, e-sport or not. Like, you can't take time to celebrate. You've got to quickly get back on defense, and the Lakers under Ian Hatcher took advantage there. The quick in-transition slam by LeBron James.
Looks like Evan is going to make some defensive and offensive adjustments. Like we said in the open, he is going to heavily use Goran Dragic, as well as bringing Kelly Olynyk and Jay Crowder to try and throw some combination of bigs. Remember, this is only 5-minute quarters, so stamina can play a huge role in terms of how they want to go about taking control of the offense. As you can see, he's also bringing in Tyler Hero, who has had an outstanding rookie campaign, the sharp shooter. So we should see Evan Hughes trying to be a little bit more perimeter-centric. But on the defensive end, how do you control Ian and the Lakers?
Well, I'm not sure how much you can do against this Lakers offense as it is so potent as it always has been over the past few years. I think what you need to do is keep them on the perimeter, force them to make those difficult three-pointers from beyond the arc.
Which you might see Evan might try and utilize the zone defense as Guyre and Dragic can't get that three to go as Dwight Howard checks in for the Los Angeles Lakers alongside Anthony Davis. LeBron James, another thunderous slam. Ian Hatcher, oh boy, over Jay Crowder. That was a monumental slam, and Evan Hughes wisely calls a timeout almost immediately. Or excuse me, not a timeout, it is heat ball, excuse me. It looked like another timeout flashed on the screen, but another monstrous slam from Ian Hatcher, utilizing LeBron James' mismatch on the interior as Kelly Olynyk, a little shimmy hook shot to go over Dwight Howard, formerly known for his defense.
It was a pretty low shot there by Howard, but again, yeah, you definitely want to avoid letting those big guys, those tough guys like LeBron James on the inside.
Now, the and one for Ian Hatcher, it is 6-4 Los Angeles, and, you know, he is dominating the inside against Evan, especially with Kelly Olynyk, who might not be as well versed on the defensive end as his counterpart, Bam Adebayo. Dragic trying to take it in transition, a tough shot over Howard, can't get it to go, and Ian Hatcher corrals the rebound and starts to move in transition with what appears to be Quinn Cook. Cook loses the handle of that, but Hatcher's able to get it back. A little scrum on the ground, and it looks like Evan controls it in the transition with Tyler Hero, and he gets a silly bad backcourt animation, and that ball will be turned back over to Ian.
Oh man,
any
just
2K player knows there. Yeah, any 2K player knows that animation. Sometimes, you know, you just get unlucky as Ian goes ahead and turns it over, and Evan is trying to look for an easy transition bucket. Back into the arms of the Los Angeles Lakers. Looks like a foul on Kelly Olynyk after Guyre and Dragic was not able to get the breakaway layup to go. Good defensive recovery by LeBron James. This is going to be a sideline. The CPU is going to say that it was on the floor, not a shooting foul.
You know, just like, you're going to experience some glitches and odd calls like that. Already a little more unique from what we experience in regular basketball. Is great play there by LeBron James.
Ian is utilizing LeBron James on the baseline, abusing Evan as Evan tries to pull up with Tyler Hero for three, hits the back of the rim and rebounded by Dwight Howard. But Ian is using a healthy dose of LeBron and AD as AD gets a thunderous slam. It seems like Ian is really trying to capitalize on those fast break opportunities. Evan might need to make some adjustments into his offensive game plan as he's trying to go against Dwight Howard on the interior with Olynyk. Olynyk is an extremely skilled post and mid-range player as he's able to convert that one. It's 11-6 in favor of Ian Hatcher with about a minute remaining here in the first quarter.
Well, we were talking about how to keep the Lakers out of the paint. It's hard to do that when they're running right past you.
A green release on the perimeter. That was only two with his feet inside the line, but Ian finally able to get a shot from outside of the paint as he's been having a healthy dose of opportunities in the paint, leaving that outside corner open for Cook. Once again, Evan is trying to go into the inside with Olynyk. Cannot get that to go, and good help defense by Anthony Davis to get the rebound. In transition, trying to kick it out to LeBron. Ian for three. Cannot get that one to go. A wide open look for LeBron James, known for his driving ability. Cannot get that to go as Tyler Hero took a hard screen. A lob pass attempted for Dwight Howard. Can't get that one to go. Evan Hughes in transition. Finds Jay Crowder. Crowder cannot get the mid-range to go. Formerly a three-point specialist with the Boston Celtics, now trying to win a ring with Miami. As Ian, a beautiful give and go, cannot get that one to go with Dwight Howard. It looks like that'll be the end of the first quarter. Now, Aidan, what have we seen so far? 14-6 at the end of one.
Well, I think what we've seen is a little bit of some It's hard to say because we saw Ian Hatcher with the Lakers going a bit of that run there to build the 8-point lead that we see now, just going quickly, using that transition game heavily to his advantage over Evan. And but aside from that, just doesn't really look like either of them has been able to get any of their players in good shooting position. And it's definitely showed here with what might consider a very low scoring first quarter.
I'm interested to see what Evan does going forward on the defensive end if he tries to change it up. The Heat in real life run a lot of zone to force the other team to take those tough corner threes, and that might be advantageous for Evan. We'll see if he makes any adjustments as Kendrick Nunn checks back in for Evan Hughes, and Ian Hatcher brings Dion Waiters off the bench. Doesn't get many minutes in real life, but here on 2K he can be a very strong three-point shooter as Jimmy Butler gets his first bucket of the game. That was huge for Evan Hughes to cut the lead down. Jimmy Butler has not been seeing the amount of touches in transition that one would expect, and immediately a timeout is called.
Definitely what you want there if you're Evan Hughes. Coming out of a very lackluster first quarter, you get a dunk from you use one of your best players to get a slam dunk, and again, like, these are virtual players, but momentum can still be a big thing in the world of esports.
Especially when you're trying to, change the dynamic of stamina, hot and cold, especially in 2K. You need to get those hot players running, especially even if it's just an easy bucket in transition. So much of esports is run with the pick and roll in terms of setting those plays. It's not so much about isolation basketball. So Evan, has been able to get out in transition with the first couple minutes here in the second quarter, looking to do more of that and limit the second chance points for Los Angeles.
And I think that's what Evan's going to have to do here to try and get back to do a better job of getting back in this one. As we saw Ian Hatcher in the first quarter use transition to his advantage. Evan Hughes, they've been allowing Ian to I'm so sorry. They've been allowing Ian to get back and form defense. So I think how Evan is going to get back in this one is definitely use more of that transition game, similar to how Ian did in the first quarter.
Ian's trying to go quickly with Kuzma, but he gets stuck at the rim. A good combination of what appears to be Adebayo and Crowder. As JaVale McGee, another tough layup, but he gets a foul call. That one's on Hero. Hero couldn't rotate around soon enough, but it looks like both teams are moving into a more interior-centered offense. We've seen only a few amount of threes taken, all of them misses. But a lot of fouls are being called. Both Kelly Olynyk and Anthony Davis are getting a lot of touches, respectively, from Evan and Ian. Ian extends the lead to 8 as Evan Hughes is looking to find some rhythm with his offense with Adebayo in the game now. Trying to find a cutting Crowder, but a bad animation gets the ball turned over, and a 3 on the other end for Ian Hatcher. The first 3 of this ballgame for either team extends the lead 19-8. It's a beautiful crossover from Hero. Pull up in the middle of the paint. Cannot get that one to go from Hughes. A kick out in the corner. Another 3 for Hatcher. He's starting to widen the lead in this one. Just as we were talking about, only 0 threes made in the first couple quarters. Now, with about 2.5 minutes here gone in the second quarter, 2 threes for Ian Hatcher as Evan Hughes is scrambling for some offense.
No, this is a must-have here, but doesn't look like it's going to come.
Yeah, a difficult pull-up shot for Evan Hughes falls on the wayside. It's 22-8 as Caldwell Pope gets stuck in midair. A nice acrobat pass out to McGee. Finding Kuzma on the interior. Once again, trying to go against Adebayo with McGee. I don't think Ian will find much success with that. Shot clock running down. Beautiful defense on that one by Evan Hughes, but cannot clear the board. And a new 14 for Ian as he once again tries to go underneath with McGee. He gets Evan jumping for another foul on Adebayo. I believe that's his second here in the second quarter. Foul trouble is starting to become an issue for Evan as both Hero and Adebayo have 2 fouls on them. Not a concern yet, only midway through the second quarter, but something to keep an eye on the rest of the way. An easy layup in transition off of the missed free throw. In 2K, the best time to run in transition is after a missed free throw as Jimmy Butler gets his second basket of the game.
And like you said, guys definitely want to stay out of foul trouble. You hate to lose some of your best guys, especially down as big as you are. You're going to need those guys later on to make some clutch buckets if you're Evan Hughes.
And Jimmy Butler gets stripped in transition after a missed J.R. Smith jump shot. And Kuzma gets a wide open slam on the other end. 25-10 now in favor of Ian Hatcher. He was able to defeat Evan in their matchup last week as Ian represented the Boston Celtics and Evan once again represented the Miami Heat. Evan trying to change his fortune in this one, but Ian is coming out quick with the Los Angeles Lakers. So far in the second quarter has been predominantly from the three-point line. Dion Waiters trying to get something on the perimeter, but beautiful defense from Evan and Duncan Robinson as he is able to force the miss and clear the rebound. Another bucket for Evan Hughes on this one. It is now 25-12 as Chris Silva finally checked into the game. More of a role player for the Miami Heat, but Evan Hughes utilizing him for his potential in transition. And Evan Hughes gets another defensive stop.
One possession at a time. That's the name of the game here, especially in a comeback. One possession at a time.
And Evan Hughes gets another bucket on that one, closing the gap to 11 as both teams are shooting 39% from the field. The name of the story has been defense. With closing in about a minute to go in the second quarter, I think if Evan can close it within 8, he has a shot coming into the second half. As another turnover from Ian getting a little sloppy, and Jimmy Butler is in transition. Evan Hughes is able to close it to within 8 points after a beautiful shot from Jimmy Butler. Another missed three from Ian Hatcher. J.R. Smith, known for being a hot and cold kind of player, started off hot, now starting to cool off as Evan Hughes is looking to close the gap now as we are under 30 seconds.
It would be big here as in one more bucket, and well, just trying to get all the points you can get now as Evan finally starting to find his rhythm here.
Yeah, he's finally able to start utilizing Jimmy Butler. It seems like off of the screen and rolls, he's able to get to the free throw line with a foul on McGee with the opportunity to cut the lead down even further. He's able to green the first one. But the most important one is the second one to limit the transition, and Evan Hughes greens that as well. About 20 seconds left in this one. Evan down 25-18, making a late second quarter push as Ian Hatcher looks to corral himself with about 27 seconds left here in the first half. So Aidan, Evan Hughes was down 14-8 coming into the second quarter. The lead ballooned to as much as 22-8. What did you see from Evan that he was able to, claw his way back into this one?
Well, one of the things that I saw is I first finally began to limit the amount of transition points, began to get some transition of his own, and was finally able to set his defense the way he wanted to, and was finally able to use that to his advantage. And as you can see, trailing by only 7 here. I'm curious to see what Ian Hatcher and the Lakers do coming out of this timeout. There is a 3.4 second differential between the game clock and the shot clock, so we can either hold it or go for a quick one and then let Evan try and take the last shot. But then that also begs the question, that small difference. So even if Ian can get up one last shot, Evan still has a chance to try and get back into it.
You bring up an interesting point of what Ian is going to do. If I'm Ian, you have LeBron James and Anthony Davis at the 1 and the 4 respectively. So whatever you do in terms of the pick and roll offense, you could find a mismatch if he brings LeBron back into this one, which it doesn't look like he will. In terms of the point guard position, LeBron is still out there in the corner. It appears to be in the small forward position. And it looks like a turnover on the way of Evan Hughes. Andre Iguodala gets the steal. Evan trying to close the gap and gets the offensive rebound once again with Iguodala getting some good movement. But he cannot get that initial shot to go. One more chance for Ian. And it rims in and out with Anthony Davis. As the first half comes to a close here for Virginia Tech Rec Sports, Ian Hatcher leads Evan Hughes 25-18, was up by as much as 22-8 in the second quarter, after 2 made threes from J.R. Smith. As you can see the halftime report coming up on your screen, 38% from the field for Evan, 35% from the field from Ian Hatcher, and both of the statistics, if you look down that list, are pretty even. 17 rebounds compared to 12 rebounds. So these teams are evenly matched coming into the second half, Aidan.
Yes, definitely. And I feel like if you're Evan coming out into the second half, you have to be happy with very thankful with where you are, especially after how the first half started.
Now, Aidan Butler will take over play-by-play duties in the first half as we get underway with about 5 minutes. As we remind each other, 5 minutes each quarter.
And the first shot going out of bounds there off the Heat as Ian Hatcher will inbound to LeBron James, trying to work into the paint there. Saw a lot of that in the first half, going up with it. Being shot, it's buffering and can't get it to go, and it will fall into the arms of number 13 for the Heat. That is Abadayo, and turnover there as for the back in for the inbounds. Ian Hatcher gets it back for the Lakers. Inbound to LeBron James up across midcourt now. Gonna try a drive in with LeBron James. Strike that, he's gonna kick it back out for three and drains it. Does Ian Hatcher, the three-pointer there, and the lead back up to 10 now with about 40 seconds gone by in this third quarter.
Yeah, it's all about ball movement on that one. You know, LeBron was able to penetrate really nicely and was able to swing it around to Anthony Davis, finding a wide-open Clint Cook on the perimeter, as Evan Hughes was able to tally another foul on Dwight Howard and Bam Adebayo, the star center for the Miami Heat, someone who Evan has been utilizing quite a bit. 4 points and 5 boards already. Gets the 2 at the free throw line. And
getting those 2 points right back that they lost here. And again, Evan was down by as many as 22 to, I believe, 8 in that first half. And that's how you get back into it, is shots from the charity stripe with the clock off. As going back the other way now is Ian Hatcher with the Lakers. Rise for 3 with LeBron James from the corner, and swish, he drains it, and it's back to an 11-point lead with 3:49 left to go here in the third quarter.
Gutsy play by
Evan Hughes. And a turnover there is coming away out of the scrum with it is Ian Hatcher with number 39 of the Lakers, and a timeout called there by, I believe, Evan Hughes in the Heat.
Yeah, after an easy in-transition bucket with J.R. Smith, Evan elects to call timeout. Ian Hatcher has been utilizing J.R. quite a bit for his three-point capabilities. He was using, J.R. Smith quite a lot coming into the second half for the three-point capability, as well as Quinn Cook, trying to change things in transition, especially when the predictability is that Ian's going to go inside, but using the outside capability of the Lakers to his advantage to stretch this out to 13 with about 2.5 minutes gone in the first half.
And you can see back up to a 13-point lead now with 3:35 to go. I think, again, even the smallest breaks, especially in this game, you feel like maybe Evans lost a little bit of that rhythm that he finally found at the end of the first half now.
Yeah, you can see Evan trying to make those defensive adjustments on the fly. It appears he's going to be double-teaming LeBron James, trying to limit that playmaking ability. And, we'll see how this works out for the Heat defense in terms of rotation, but Evan trying to make some adjustments to limit Ian's wide-open shots as Bam Adebayo makes a difficult shot from the baseline.
I bet he could. Interesting shot for a video game. I bet he could still probably make that shot in real life. As going back the other way now is Ian Hatcher with the Lakers. Little pop shot from inside, and offensive board, and put it back up is, I believe, I couldn't get the number 39 for Lakers. Going back the other way for the Heat is Evan Hughes. Dragic going to step back out with it. Evan trying to drive in with Dragic. He's going to kick it back out to him at the top of the arc. Trying to get the lane to the bucket. He's going to take it from the charity stripe at a man down low, but doesn't take it, and it bounces off the rim. Back into the hands of the Lakers. Up ahead goes Ian Hatcher. He'll rise. Looks like a two-pointer. No, also off the arc, and coming out of it now is, once again, Evan Hughes with Jay Crowder. Dragic again. Evans used him a lot in this second half. Down low for Adebayo. Kick it back out to Hatcher. Inside, can't get it to go. And the rebound there by the Lakers, and Ian Hatcher trying to go in transition. That worked well in the first half. Up ahead to LeBron James, and he's going to leave it there for Kyle Kuzma. Trying to work back inside is Ian Hatcher. And the left-handed shot there by Anthony Davis goes, and it is a 15-point game now with 1:58 to go. And just like that, Evan Hughes calls timeout once again.
Yeah, that was just bully ball basketball on the interior. Iguodala couldn't do anything against Anthony Davis. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of that from Ian Hatcher in terms of finding the mismatch, especially in the pick and roll. You know, if you use LeBron James at the point guard, Anthony Davis before, anytime you use the pick and roll, and if Evan switches the point guard onto AD, that's an easy bucket just waiting to happen. But Ian Hatcher has not been utilizing much of that. He's been trying to mix in some of the perimeter-oriented offense from the Lakers, but a lot of offensive rebounds from number 39, Dwight Howard. He was known for that in his prime down in Orlando, but now with the Lakers, he is still an effective bucket maker, especially in 2K, with a strong will on the defensive end, able to block shots and corral those offensive boards. For Evan, to get back into this, we just need to limit Ian Hatcher to one shot per possession, limit the transition opportunities. He's made some really good defensive adjustments in terms of electing to double team LeBron James, and that's worked out so far, but Ian's been able to find some other playmakers.
Another thing you have to do if you're Evan, if you want to get back in, is like, even if you can make stops, you also have to cash in those stops. You can't go stop. You can't have a stop, then not get points after that. They go down, score again. Get you down in a hurry, which it has here, and fouls. Trying to go quickly there was Evan Hughes.
Yeah, another foul tagged on to Anthony Davis. I believe that's his second. Dragic almost automatic at the free throw line. His rating is extremely high in 2K. He is aging, but he is still a very effective player, a great ball handler, and he's become more of an outside shooter in his later years, and Evan's been using him quite effectively, being able to run around other players with his extremely versatile speed.
And going back the other way is Ian Thatcher with the Lakers. Kick it. Faked it with Anthony Davis. Now driving in, going to kick it back to Davis. Mid-range jumper. Goes around and good. An offensive rebound. Talked about, and he's going to kick it back outside to Quinn Cook. Thatcher gets it back, trying to, and again, this is what we talked about. Can't allow this many offensive shots. Still won't go. And Evan finally gets a stop, pulls down the rebound with Thatcher. Excuse me, yes. Going back the other way now is Evan Hughes. Looking inside for the big man. Drive into the paint, going to kick it out right, and just a sloppy play there. Couldn't corral it. For the Heat was number 28, Andre Iguodala, looking for him in the corner, and it's going to go back to the Heat. Back to the Lakers.
So Evan's been able to fall behind, but it's been consistently around 13 points. Iguodala not able to get on that last turnover. We were talking about defensive rebounding, and almost on cue, Evan is bringing back in Adebayo. The combination of Myers Leonard and Kelly Olynyk was not getting the job done for Evan Hughes, while Evan's been utilizing Kelly Olynyk on the offensive end. His defensive capability hasn't lived up to the potential of Adebayo in his 86 overall rating. Just on the flip side, though, Ian Hatcher's been able to get a lot of clean looks, especially from the mid to three-point range, just not able to cash him in. And heading into the fourth quarter with about a minute left here in the third, he's keeping Evan Hughes in the ball game. So I'm interested to see if it comes down to the fourth quarter, just like how it did in their previous matchup last week.
All right.
First time today, we're seeing Alex Caruso bringing out by Ian Hatcher.
Coming out of the scrum there. I'm experiencing some bit of technical delays on my end, so I apologize if it's affecting any listeners' view of it right now. A little delay, as going back the other way is Dragic off another bucket by Hatcher and the Lakers. And draining that one, Evan Hughes finally getting on the board late in the third quarter now. After a long after a long point drought, 39-26. And Hatcher just going right back to work, and that is it's hard to come back when that keeps happening. We were talking about this earlier. You can't score points, get a stop, and then let them easily score again as it's back to a 15-point advantage. Well, under 15 seconds to go in the third quarter now. Evan trying to go up with it with Adebayo and gets it to go, and they're within 13 now. 9.2 seconds remain in the third. Hatcher can't hold it for the last shot. Going up with it, and with 4.9 seconds to go, utilizing Alex Caruso. Evan, he can get the try for the last shot here. 2 seconds to go. Rising, that's going to be a 2 if it falls, and believe it did fall.
He made it. Duncan Robinson with a beautiful pull-up on the left elbow. Evan Hughes is able to get a huge momentum boost heading into the third quarter. Oh, that was, that's just one of those shots at the end of the quarter. You just put up a prayer. You might not even get the jump shot animation, but it's able to fall for Evan Hughes. A 13-point lead for Hatcher coming into the fourth quarter. Aidan, Evan's kind of been sticking around, not able to get that run that he's been hoping for as he enters the fourth quarter down by 13.
Yeah, and you're definitely going to need, and that's what basketball is, virtual or otherwise, it's a game of runs. And it looks like Evan's going to need a few of them here starting off in the fourth quarter.
Exactly so. Kendrick Nunn is back into the game for Evan Hughes. Down by 13, looking to get something going. Robinson's pull-up jumper can't get that one to go. Rebounded by McGee. Running in transition is Ian. Alex Caruso is known for his driving abilities. Lays that one off for Kuzma. Can't get that one to go. Adebayo with the rebound. Evan Hughes is trying once again to find Jimmy Butler. Cannot get that one to go. Still down by 13. Able to get the defensive stops, but what we talked about, cannot capitalize on the offensive end. As Ian Hatcher, trapped with that one, is able to call the timeout before the jump ball is called. So here we are about, 35 seconds into the fourth quarter, and the lead has not changed for Ian Hatcher, and Evan Hughes needs to start putting some buckets together as he brings Dragic back into the game.
So first off, heads up play there by Hatcher to get the timeout called and retain possession, and 13 points with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left. With the way this game has been going, you may need to definitely take more chances on the outside, and if you're Evan, at a certain point you have to consider when to start fouling.
And it is an interesting, tactic to play so far, as both teams are shooting below 40%. It's all just about who can get those in-transition buckets. So far in the fourth quarter, we've seen Evan been able to corral the defensive rebound, especially with Adebayo. Bringing in Crowder now, he's a scrappy player at that 4 position. Has the capability for Evan, if he wants to run some peeking pops, to shoot the 3. Trying to get Anthony Davis in those pick and rolls and engage in foul trouble as Dwight Howard will inbound it for Ian. About 4 minutes here in the fourth quarter. Ian trying to take advantage of that mismatch with Davis and Crowder, but a beautiful closeout from Evan. Doesn't matter. Ian Hatcher able to get that one to go. A big pull-up jump shot for Anthony Davis. He's got 9 points now on 45% shooting, as on the interior, Dwight Howard collects up the foul. He's known for his blocking ability, but he just as often fouls, as Goran Dragic is able to get 2 shots. Evan Hughes able to get to the free throw line, cannot capitalize on the first.
We keep talking about Evan trying to get the comeback here. We could also be talking about Ian Hatcher trying to put this one away here.
Ian is doing an extremely good job using almost the entire shot clock as he runs it in transition with LeBron James, looking for some opening, but nice recovery as a deep 3 from Dion Waiters. Cannot get that one to go. A little bit of a heat check from Waiters. As Evan Hughes tries to get something on the perimeter oriented with Jimmy Butler. Double teamed with LeBron, puts up a little bit of a prayer, cannot get that one to go, and Ian is in transition. A little up and under lob for Davis, gets that one to go. A beautiful play in transition from Dion Waiters. Ian hoping for more of a slam, but will take any bucket he gets down the stretch.
A little showmanship in the late stages of this game.
Once again, Evan can't get that one to go as Ian finds LeBron in the corner. So good in transition, but cannot get that tough layup on the interior to go as Evan Hughes is looking for more buckets on the interior and gets one. Now down by 14. 10 points for Bam Adebayo, leading the scorers for Evan Hughes as well as Jimmy Butler, nearing double digits now as Ian tries to get on the interior with LeBron. Double teaming Davis doesn't work as a timeout called by Evan off of the bucket from Evan appeared to try and double team Anthony Davis with Bam Adebayo, leaving Dwight Howard wide open. Despite the recovery, Howard was able to get the second chance point. So here we are down by 16 now with about 2 minutes and 41 seconds left. Ian Hatcher looking to close the door. Aidan, what has impressed you most from Ian in this one?
What's impressed me is his ability to adapt. Early on, we saw him finally we saw him start running up the score in terms of transition points. Evan finally found a way to limit that a little bit, and then he finally got it going on the outside. So what's really impressed me by Hatcher is just how he's adapted. Every time Evan Hughes has adjusted to try and get back in this game, Hatcher's had an answer.
You know, coming out of the timeout, it looks like Evan Hughes is going to go with more of his three-point specialist. You know, Jimmy Butler at the 4, Duncan Robinson at the 2, or at 3, and Tyler Hero coming in at the 2 with Dragic. So Evan Hughes, you know, the best way that he can get back into this game in a hurry is a couple quick three-pointers. And if there's anything that Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson can give you, is some of those really effective three-point shots as Evan Hughes elects to roll the ball to conserve every second possible. It appears it is stolen by Caruso. Heads up play by Ian. Caruso pulls up for 3 and gets it. What a turn of events. Evan Hughes is trying to delay the time, and Caruso just comes up and swipes the ball right out of his hands and pulls up for 3 right in his face.
And that was a big shot there by Hatcher to not completely put this one away, but definitely giving these virtual fans something to be happy about.
Hatcher up by 21 now after a green release right in the paint with 3 defenders around. Evan cannot be happy with that one. Looking for some buckets here with about 2 minutes remaining on this one. A pull-up jumper on the baseline from Hero. I cannot get that one to go. Beautiful closeout from Anthony Davis. Another 3 from LeBron. Green release on the perimeter. LeBron James is starting to heat up with Ian Hatcher. The lead has ballooned to 24 points with about 1 minute and 45 seconds remaining. Another steal from Hatcher. Steps it back with Caruso. And cannot got that one to go. Still up by 24. Evan is able to clear the defensive rebound with Bam Adebayo, who now has 8 rebounds here in this one. A extremely dominant showing on the glass.
You know, Evans, he's our good buddy, but based on that last year, I say that pretty much writes an end to this one.
Ian Hatcher is coming out with dominant fashion here in the fourth quarter, able to, you know, squish any of Evan's hopes. Evan made some really good adjustments coming out of the second half, but Ian was able to get some of those perimeter jump shots to go. Speaking of which, J.R. Smith is coming back just after hitting another pull-up jumper, and Ian is once again running in transition. Cannot get that one to go with LeBron. Another rebound by Adebayo. 9 rebounds now, looking for the double-double as a foul on Alex Caruso on the baseline with 47 seconds left. Ian Hatcher leads this one 59-35 for week 2 of the Virginia Tech Rex Sports Gaming, as Jimmy Butler is at the line for 1 shot after a beautiful and 1 animation. He has 13 points to go along with only 1 rebound in this one, as Evan Hughes is trying to climb back with any points available to him with 47 seconds left at this one. But it appears that Ian Hatcher will take round 2 of this head-to-head matchup, as he was able to steal a victory from Evan late in the fourth quarter with the Boston Celtics last Tuesday. Deep 3 from J.R. Smith. He gets it. 62-36. J.R. Smith has come up huge for Ian Hatcher, coming off the bench, has played him almost the entire second half. Another foul on Anthony Davis puts the Miami Heat and Evan Hughes in the bonus.
And that's what we were talking about earlier. Is like, it seems like every time Evan has found some way to get points, or it seems like he has an answer to one of Ian Hatcher's questions, it seems like he's ready to answer back and then some.
You know, this game has all been about adjustments as Evan Hughes is able to convert that free throw. You know, anytime Evan makes a defensive adjustment, you know, Ian is able to stay one step ahead of him as the catch and shoot from Caruso does not go. Under 20 seconds now in the fourth quarter. Shot clock is turned off. Cool jump shot from Butler. Gets that one to go. Evan Hughes finally starting to heat up with Jimmy Butler from the mid-range. Most of his buckets with him have been in the interior arc or on free throws. It appears that Ian Hatcher will control it for the last 10 seconds on this one, and that will be the final here from the Staples Center virtually. The Ian Hatcher and the Los Angeles Lakers able to take this one in what seems like dominant fashion, but it was all about the runs in the fourth quarter. Final score is 62-40 here for 3304 Sports on the Virginia Tech Rec Sports Week 2 of the 2K series, as Anthony Davis leads all scorers with 13 points, but J.R. Smith is right behind him. You see those three-point baskets came up huge as he played 11 minutes for Ian Hatcher. With 3304 Sports, my name is Clint McLeod, alongside my broadcast partner, Aidan Butler. We greatly appreciate you joining us for this one, for the Virginia Tech Rec Sports Game of the Week here, if you're viewing it on YouTube or whatever platform. And signing off from this one, we appreciate your time as Ian Hatcher is able to take this one with a score of 62-40 over Evan Hughes.